haven't done a live in quite some time. So, thank you, Ava. Thank you, Lisa Marie. Thank you, Tiff Taff. Thank y'all so much for the gifts. Thank you for the roses. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, almost time, guys. Oh, thank you, Annalisa. Thank y'all all so much for joining me. So we'll start a little early, but we can go ahead and get started. So originally I had this account set for deletion. So, but when you're within your 30 days of waiting it for it to delete, you can still reactivate it. So I had changed my entire platforms, as we know, to reflect more about the artwork that I've been working on and less about my personal life. So when I did that, I thought it would be a little bit more easy to manage. Turns out I was wrong. So what I did was I was like, you know what? I'm gonna delete it. If anybody knows me, they know the struggles that I have been going through with social media ever since I got out of prison. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. This live right here. Oh, thank you. That's a cool hat. This live. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Cat, for the galaxy. This live is going to be on the real. So I'm not BSing around. We're just gonna have some conversation on the real. So I've got my water here because I do get dry mouth. So I'm gonna be ready. And we're gonna do this thing. So yeah, I did just reactivate this profile. Like I said, it was set to delete. But since I was in my 30-day range, I was like, you know what? I want to do a live. I want to address some things. I'm in a spot in my life right now to where I feel like I can address some things. Oh, that's cool. Thank you, Tennessee. I'm able to address some things that I feel like I have been not able to address for specific reasons in the last year and a half, whether it be parole or contracts with the show. So now that I have none of those restrictions, you get the real me now. So, where should we begin? Goodness. Oh, thank you, Cherry Blossom. Okay, so I guess the first topic I want to talk about is the show. So I know a lot of you have been asking in my comment sections, is there going to be a season 3? Okay, so what happened with that is season 2 ended and we were not sure if we were going to get picked up for a season 3 or not. So we were in a time period of where it's like we're not filming. And life happens, stuff was happening. Like I got off of parole. And they wanted to make sure they captured that just in case there would have been a season 3. So we did film the day that I got off of parole. My friends were there, so they got to experience the whole filming process and everything. It was quite a night. I wish y'all would have been able to see that night. I know there was like little bits on social media. But we went hard. It was a lot of fun. I was happy to have my friends there to experience it with me. But I want to say when I was vacationing in Miami with my dad, Christy, Aurora, and Ken, I got a phone call from the network, and they let me know that there's not going to be a season 3, and the reason why is because Lifetime Network, their demographic of viewers have an age range, okay? And so their age range is above my, I guess, demographic. So I usually age range the demographic from like 18 to 30, whereas their network, their main viewers are usually in 40s and 50s. So they basically understood, and this is a problem that we had been having from the first season and the second season. We were seeing that a lot of the viewers that are interested in watching my story and watching my life unfold, we're part of a generation that has streaming. We want to watch it on streaming. Well, Lifetime is a network based on cable. And so there was so many people that's like, I can't find it. Where do I find your show? And I'm like, it's on cable. And so a lot of people had to go on apps like Friendly or Next Day on the Lifetime app. So it was not as available as a potential streaming service could have been to our show. So in a sense, we, over the course of, these seasons, we started to see that the partnership between my show and the network, we tried to, make it merge in a way that it was mutually beneficial. But we were seeing that it just wasn't the right platform for my show. Because of the age demographic that is watching. So with that being said, I'm like, okay, I completely understand that. That's something that I had been voicing as a concern when I saw that viewership was lower for this last season. I'm like, there's a lot of people that want to watch the show, but they're like, I don't have cable. So after we made the decision to, break apart from Lifetime, it was a mutual understanding. I'm like, I completely understand. That makes complete sense. So then there was talk of, there's a lightning storm coming. Sorry. Then there was talk about potentially looking for another network for our show to kind of reinvent our show where it was not Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup anymore. It was, this new chapter of my life as a mom, my life in freedom. And so I was like, okay, we had interested buyers. Hulu was interested, as well as other networks were interested in creating maybe not the same show, but still covering my life. And so this opportunity came around where it's like, okay, I'm not partnered with a network, but I have the option to say, you know what? I don't want another show. I want to live a private life, a normal life now. And these opportunities, these kind of forks in the road, don't come often. When you are signed to a network, you are contractually obligated to post when they want you to post, go to events when they want you to go to events to promote the show, film. It is in the contract that I signed that how many film days we had, what is required of me. It's a lot that goes into contracts with a network. And even as so much as, how long can you be under a certain amount of time that you can't even do another show or something similar, like a documentary. So I had a conversation with my manager, and I was like, you know what? I had been begging for just a life of quietness, of silence, of no social media, no television show, nothing like that. But I had been in these contracts for so long. So finally, now that my obligations are done with season 2 and there's not going to be a season 3, I told my manager, you know what? I don't want another show. I don't want you to pitch it to another network. I just want to be done. Can we just be done? And he's like, obviously he's my manager, so he's going to do what's in the best interest of, the bottom line. as well as to me. Mike and I go way back, and he's been a figure in my life that I respect him a lot, and I respect his opinions. But I was like, I understand where you're coming from, that there is a lot of people that is interested in my life. I understand that. But I'm also just me, and I'm just a mom. Like, I'm not a character in the act. I have a real life going on, and the people that film the show, they're great people. I loved our crew. Our crew was amazing. Some of them are still good friends to this day. The producers were amazing. Like, we had a great team behind our show, and that is what made it so wonderful to film. If people are going to bitch your house 5 days a week, hopefully you like them. So we really liked the crew that we had. But the downside is, okay, so when you are filming, say I want to go to the grocery store, okay? They have to call and clear the grocery store to make sure that they even allow them to film at the grocery store. So I can't just tell the film crew, hey, I'm going to Rouse's or I'm going to Target, and they just follow me. That's not how that works. It's a whole set up process where they're they gotta call a manager and get clearance and and if it's a big name brand like Target or Walmart, they're not gonna be able to film at a place like that. So often the shops that we would have to go to is these little specialty boutiques and stuff. So it's a little bit of a hindrance to not be able to say, okay, I just want to go here and do my business and that be it. It's a schedule, it's a job, and it does take work. It's yes, it's reality. Yes, you're filming what you're doing in your life, but there's all these added extra steps to it. So it's and for season 2, technically we were supposed to be, Aurora's birth was supposed to be the last thing that we filmed. Well, Aurora had came earlier than expected. She was due on January 22nd, and I didn't expect to have her a few weeks early. So we still had a good 2 months of filming to still do. My hope when I did, I think it was Good Morning America, I was I don't want to have Aurora on film. I don't, if they get the birth, that is all that I'm giving them, is the birth, and we're not even going to show her. Time came, December came, she came early. So we did not expect that curveball. So then it became okay, they want to film 2-3 weeks post her birth. And I'm having conversations with the network, and I'm listen, I have already said, you guys hear the thunder out there? I don't want to have Aurora on camera. I'll give y'all the birth, I'll give y'all that. But I don't want to have my daughter grow up in this life, okay, where she's being scrutinized, she's being talked about, she's being posted. I don't want any of that. I live that life, and it sucks. It sucks. Yeah, it sucks big time. And so we ended up making an agreement that she would be shown, but in abstract, creative ways, far away shots. Her face is blurred, her little hand, different ways to where it's not just full on her. And even to the week before the last episode, sorry, that scared me. Good Lord, it's really bad out there. Even as far as the week before the final episode came out, and that whole thing happened with the Easter pictures that Ken and I had taken her to go see the Easter Bunny, and we put the heart emoji over her face, and someone used AI to try to remove it, but they plastered another baby's face on it, or it wasn't her. At the end of the day, it wasn't her. So I tell the network about it, and they're well, since someone has been trying to put Aurora's face out there? Wouldn't it be powerful? Wouldn't it be better for it to come from you, and give you the opportunity and you the power back, instead of all these other people trying to sneak pictures of her and everything? And I'm like, no. And they're like, we could look into possibly a bump up in pay of the episode if you unblur her face. Okay? No amount of money thrown at me is gonna make me change my mind. I don't want to show my daughter's face. I am trying to respect her privacy. And yes, I'm a mom. I would love to be one of those moms that could post her kids on Facebook and you know, enjoy being a mom that way, showing how beautiful my daughter is. I would love to be that kind of mom. I scroll past my friends on Facebook all the time taking pictures of their kids, and I'm like, oh God, I wish I could do that. But because I am who I am, and because these people that have opposing opinions of me, or very strong opinions of me, that they take it far beyond a dislike for me, should I say, they take it beyond that, and I'm not gonna put her in that position. So I'm trying to do what I can to protect her. So I was like, with respect, no, I turned down your offer. I'm not gonna accept more money just to unblur her face. And this is all things, everything that I'm telling you right now, I'm only able to tell you because I'm no longer under a NDA with the network. I am no longer under any sort of like gag order where it's like, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. It would be a breach of contract if you do this or if you do that. It's all over now. So what you see is what you get now. The muzzle is off. So I'm now able to kind of tell you guys what I've been going through. Thank you so much. I didn't see the name who sent that. And so anyway, so that was that whole thing about unblurring or blurring, not blurring her face in the show. So it's another thunderclap. So now moving on to, you know, like I was saying about season, you know, potential season 3. I was like, well, how do you have a story about my life and not have my daughter in it? Like I said, I don't want to have my daughter grow up in the entertainment industry. I don't want her to be a cash cow. I don't want her to that to be the focus. And it's like, gosh, sorry, it's so loud up there because it's thundering pretty bad. I'm like, if you want to talk about me, if you want to make a documentary about me, that's fine. It's like I've been plastered around anywhere and like a show pony for the last, you know, 10 years anyway. What does it matter? But I'm like, you're not going to do that to my kid though. So I'm like, ultimately the choice was continue on with the show, make some money, they do pay good, or forfeit the money and choose a private as people will let me, life. And that means money struggles. That absolutely, I am not rich. This whole, I have $3 million, no, absolutely not. I'm not broke, but I'm also not rich. I have a nest egg, and without doing another season, there is no income. Like I said, I had this account set for deletion, so that means no creator fund. That means I'm not making money off of TikTok. So, and the people that are like, get a job. Okay, I have a almost 8-month-old daughter. Ken works. My parents live an hour and 15 minutes away. I don't necessarily have people, I'm not going to leave her with a babysitter. So, and I'm not going to put her in daycare and stuff like that. Like, I don't trust people that much. I have trust issues. People need to know I have trust issues. Thank you for the galaxy. I'm a protective mom. I hear stories all the time about kids getting, you know, abused or hit or stuff like that in daycare. No. So I'm like, I am a stay-at-home mom. I take care of my daughter, so I needed to find another source of income, of something that I could do where I stay home and do. For a long time, that was social media. Thank you so much, Angel Marie. Love you, girl. For a long time, that was social media for me. The reality of it is I used to make probably about $3,000 a month on TikTok from the Creator Fund. The Creator Fund's great. But if you're not wanting to showcase your life, then you're kind of limited, especially coming from someone who was on reality TV. Thank you. People have said, do Cameo, do this, do that. I don't want to. So what I found is I like artwork. I like painting. This is something that I can do at home. And no, it's not Picasso. No, it's not great. But I'm still learning, and that's the fun thing about it is I'm learning. I'm learning so much more about art. It's art has been a passion of mine for a very long time. I actually have a painting that I did. Okay, it's not good. It's just my handprints. But this is before the crime, so it's my handprints, and we were able to get this from the Habitat House and some of my other paintings. So painting is something not new. This is something I've been doing for a long time, in different ways and stuff like that. Selling them, like I said, I need an income. I do have a child to provide for. Ken provides what he can, and he does an amazing job providing for the family. But as a mom, like in this economy, both parents need to be bringing in an income to stay above water. That's just the reality of life. So anybody that knocks my art, I'm sorry, it's not perfect. It is abstract. I never claimed to be, making the Mona Lisa. It's one thing about me. I'm kind of funny, so I'll play jokes. And I charge a lot. Yeah, I do. California is like, I buy mine at Target and it's $59.99, $57.99 before tax. So it's like, yeah, I do what I can to bring in any kind of income, because I'm at a disadvantage. If I, as someone who was in reality TV, as someone as well known as I am, you think I can go and work at Abercrombie and Fitch, whatever, or the mall and not get recognized? There are people on this app that have called places that I'll go shop or I will go eat at a restaurant. They will call and harass the place. So I would love to ask these people, the people that are like, get a job. If I got a 9-to-5, would y'all let me work? Would y'all leave me alone and just let me do my job without calling and be like, do you know a schmurder works there? I'm gonna get her fired. So it's like, I am at that disadvantage. So I'm like, strip everything away and realize I do have a child, a living, breathing child to provide for. And I'm just literally doing the best I can with what I have to work with. So anyway, moving on from that. So that is why there is no season 3. It's because I chose to not continue on. Lifetime chose not to continue on with me because the viewership didn't match up. I chose not to continue on with another network who would have picked up our show. So ultimately, that's the reason why. And now what am I left with? So now I'm doing good in my life. I'm enjoying living a more quiet, private life. As for social media, let's loop back into social media. Social media and I, as we have seen on the show, has been something I have been battling with since I got out of prison. My expectations of social media when I got out was basically Oh, thank you, Mac. I just read a text. My expectations for social media when I got out was like, I want to post selfies. I want to play on Snapchat. I want to be goofy and do silly TikTok videos of me dancing and like everything that I was like scrolling by. I'm like, oh, that's a trendy video. I want to do that. And, you know, because it's like I didn't get a chance to get into all that stuff when I was locked up. Like, you know, when I was locked up, all this stuff was going on, and I'm like, I want to try that out. I'm 34 years old, but like in my soul, I feel like sometimes I'm like 20. I'm like, sometimes I could be a little goofy, be immature, be a little smart ass sometimes, but that's only like one part of me. That's cool. Thank you. The other part of me is every bit of 34 and learning what are my priorities in life? What is the meaning of me? Who am I? And I think that, you know, if we take away all of the content that gets put about me, the narratives that get put out there, you know, I mean, just look at, it was breaking news that I cut my hair. I got a new haircut. Okay. But if you take away all of that extra content from creators, you know, the reality is I never got to figure out who I am. And so, yeah, I'm going to be 50 different versions of me. I do change. I grow. And some things stay the same. Because maturing comes with time. And in prison is supposed to be reform. Okay, in a lot of ways, prison is actually just a babysitter. It's an adult babysitter. I have seen countless times of how the guards handle inmates' bad behavior, and to the people that are like that, for the people that are really wanting to better themselves, they honestly get something out of prison. But to the people that are just, we call them frequent flyers. So that just means they get out, they reoffend, they go right back. They do it and they do it and they do it. I've seen one girl come back 15 times. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like, you again? When are you ever gonna learn? But that's unfortunately how it is. And you know, during COVID, it was really bad, because it's like they were trying to make sure that everybody didn't get COVID, but also that meant whenever somebody did something wrong, you know, segregation was filled because they were using it as quarantine for a while. You know, the prison does what they can, and with the programs. Like for me, I try to do as many programs as my prison would allow me to do. I did group therapy, which I got certificates in. I got my GED, which I was like super proud of myself, because it's like I had to learn all that stuff from the ground up. So it's like, yeah, my GED might not be a college degree, okay, but it was big for me, so that's all that matters. So it's like, in prison, you get what you give, and that's just how it is. I did everything I can within, oh, thank you. I did everything I could have within, you know, the limits of what I had to work with. Sorry, I was talking. So coming out, they don't teach you about real life in prison. In prison, the loudest dog is the one, you know, you have to be the ferocious, you have to be tough, you have to be, you know, that badass, in order to be respected. So coming out of prison, I'm like, okay, so if someone doesn't like me, I've got to be snarky. I've got to be, you know, just more. And then I started to realize over the course of, my time being free, you don't address someone with a different opinion, with like being straight up rude. Now, I am the type of person that if you come at me rude, probably gonna come at you rude too. But I've also been having really good conversations with creators on this app that started out not liking me. Like, they literally made anti-Gypsy content. And one in particular I'm friends with now. And others that have had, a difference of an opinion, or as they say, the other side. I've been able to have decent conversations with them and us not really get into the weeds of all of the conspiracy theories or, the different things that come up that people have questions about. We're able to stay on topic of, TikTok is really ferocious sometimes. It's not for the faint of heart. And you got to be strong. And you got to stick to your guns and what you stand for. So anyway, all I'm saying is that, I'm growing as an individual. I'm never going to be perfect. And that's the thing about what I think I have been doing wrong this whole time is I literally have been trying to be everything that people expect me to be. Like, when you get out, you need to advocate for prison reform. We expect great things of you, Miss Blanchard. You need to advocate for Munchausen by proxy and this, that, and the other. And when I got out, who I had for contacts? I had the producers of my show. Yeah, I met Kim Kardashian. Yeah, she was really nice. We talked about my story. I did talk about my friend Amelia's story with her. Did that make it in the show? Of course it didn't. Of course it didn't, because I didn't get to choose that. But, now I'm able to have communication with my friends in prison. So I was able to explain that to Amelia. But the fact is advocating, I don't even think half of anybody on TikTok knows what that even means or what they want from me. Because it's like I have brought awareness to Munchausen by proxy. A, by sharing my story. B, by explaining what it is to people that probably don't know or if they haven't heard it. And what I see in my comment section, we don't want a schmurder to advocate. Go back to prison. And then I'll make a video about me, dancing on my makeup. This isn't advocating. Why aren't you doing what you said you were gonna do? Okay, I am only one human being. And you're expecting me to come out and be freaking Wonder Woman over here. I am not Wonder Woman. And that's what I've been doing wrong this whole time is, I try and fit into everybody's box that they want me to be in. Because ultimately, nobody wants to be hated. Nobody wants to be made fun of. Nobody wants to feel like the odd one out. But I have been doing everything but being myself on this app. And like when I thought that my style was getting better, people are like, you're copying off of your sister. Well, my sister gave me some good advice about style, but I'm not the fashionable sister, okay? I am the one that will wear slippers of 2 different colors. I am quirky. I am not fashionable because I don't have an eye for fashion. I'm not into fashion. I like makeup, but I'm just not fashionable, and that's fine. If somebody thinks I'm not fashionable, it's okay. I don't care. You're not wearing it. I am. So it doesn't matter. But I've seen that a lot, and I just feel like I'm so done being put in everybody's box or trying to be what everybody else wants me to be. And I just want to be me. Like, I want to be me, because I feel like that's what my friends know. That's what my loved ones know. And that's ultimately what I'm happy being, is myself. Most people don't know that I am I'm super dorky. I snort when I laugh sometimes. I make dumb jokes that are pretty much like knock-knock jokes. A lot of y'all call me. Hold up. Let me put you on pause, and I don't want to end. I just want to go on pause. Cancel. See, I haven't been live forever, and I forgot how this works. I will. At the comment section, and as much as people say don't look at the comment section, I look at the comment section. It's completely human to do. So I'm like, I'll read whenever people are like, you're not as fashionable as your sister. Number one, I'm not trying to be my sister. My sister is her own person. I'm my own person, and I'm okay with that. And that leads me into another kind of topic. My sister. So I have been seeing so often in my comment sections and videos about how I'm so jealous of my sister. Okay, I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. Jealous of my sister, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you when, and I'm gonna tell you why. So my entire childhood, since Mia was born till even when I was in prison, probably even right before I got out, I was jealous of my sister. Why? Because my mother always used to tell me, and this is one example, but I'm going to give you more, or any kind of family holiday or something. My mom would be like, your dad didn't get you a birthday gift, or your dad didn't call you, or this, that, and the other. Your dad didn't do this because he's too busy with his other daughter, his favorite daughter. So as a child, and yes, I was a child, I was told that my dad didn't love me, that he loved his other two kids more. So growing up, that was already ingrained in my head. So people want to talk about my triggers. That's one of my triggers, is my sister. That is a trigger for me. Then when I got out, I got to jealous of my sister, because she got to grow up with my dad. She got to get raised by my dad, and in this, ideal home situation that I didn't get to. She went to prom, she went to school, she went to college, all things that, I thought, had I just grown up with my dad, I could have had those things too. But and so that is the reason for the jealousy factor. And so when I got out, I got to have a relationship with my dad. I got to build on that. I got to, start living my life not held back by my mother or held back by prison. But I got to start living and get to actually know her. Not from the
communication that we'd had in prison, like the phone calls. I got to actually know her. And then I came to realize that vastly different. We're we're sisters, but we are so different from each other. And I learned that that is okay. And I let all of that jealousy go. And I started to actually have a relationship with my sister. And, this last year and a half, whatever, 18 months, we were able to forge a bond with each other through all of that. And all of that got left in the past. And I am so proud of my daughter's godmother. She's her aunt and she's her godmother. I made Mia the godmother, and my brother the godfather. And so the things that people like to throw at me is, you're not as good as your. I am okay with that. I am proud of my sister. When my sister was, and they filmed this for the show, but they did not air it. When she needed to get her feet on the ground whenever she started her new job. And so Mia actually moved in here with Ken while I was still on parole. And it was only for a few months, but that's what family does for each other. And she was living in this room. This was her room. My new room was her room temporarily. She was at work a lot of the time, so she'd just come here to sleep. A lot of times she would be traveling back and forth to Lafayette. Her boyfriend would come stay for a little bit. It's just what family does. So anyway, I think it's so funny that people are like, yeah, you're so jealous of your sister. If I was so jealous of my sister, would I have let her move in with my boyfriend when I wasn't even living here? No. A, I trust my boyfriend, and B, I trust my sister. It's what family does for each other. So, what you guys think is going on social media, you probably don't even know what's really going on. Just saying. So with that being said, I have a good relationship with my sister, and no one on TikTok is going to ruin that for me, and no one's going to ruin it for her. I think she's doing an awesome job as an influencer, and she's doing an awesome job as a nurse. I'm super proud of her. Okay, so moving on from that, which leads me to motherhood, okay? I can tell you, I'm getting all this out. Okay. So, motherhood. My daughter is almost 8 months old, and she is the biggest blessing I've ever had in my life. When I tell you, I never will ever regret having my daughter. I feel like when I got out, I hit the ground running. Originally I was on birth control pills and I forgot to take them. So when I was on Natasha's live, me and Ken were on Natasha's live, and I was like, I'm on birth control. Yeah, I was, but I forgot to take it. And which is how I got pregnant. And so anyway, being a mom has shifted my whole priorities. A mom, after not having a great relationship with my mom, was easy. It wasn't at all. I still remember, I probably talked about this on another live, is I was holding her and she was a couple weeks old, and
I don't understand how anybody could hurt a child. I don't. Like, every time I read a story on Facebook or on social media, and you read about these parents that got arrested for, you know, hurting their kid, their baby, and I'm just like, I cry. Like, I cry. And I'm like, this, God, number one, being someone who grew up in abuse, it may not be the, you know, the bruises and all that kind of abuse, it's not that kind, but any time you do anything to harm a child, like, God, I don't understand people like that. I don't, and I just don't think that those people, they need to be, you know, not parents. Just saying. I'm just a big person on, like, don't hurt children. You know, number one, for what I went through, and number two, I have a baby girl, a sweet baby girl that I love so much, and she's growing and she's making milestones, and I just love her so much, and I just want to protect her from, you know, all this craziness on TikTok and the craziness in the world. You know, she's being raised by a family that loves her so much. Like, Ken will sing to her and she will just light up, and I'm like, oh gosh, what could I do to make her giggle for me? Because he got the first giggle out of her. Now I was like, what could I do? So sometimes I'll just lift her little legs up and be like, ah, booga, 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 booga. Like, that's what I do. Being a mom has definitely is I think something that brings me down to earth. Number one, I've learned, put yourself on the back burner, dude. Like, I understand why so many of my friends, and even Christy and my dad, was like, whenever they filmed them, don't get pregnant. Because you gotta be selfless. You gotta put the baby first. You gotta do all that. You gotta do what's right. And they're like, go live your life. I understand why they say go live your life now. Because it's like, yeah, I can't go and shop at the mall whenever I want to and do all this kind of stuff, spend $1,000 at the mall and anything like that. But you know what? I still find myself going shop and spend a lot of money. Now I'm close for her. It's just my priorities have shifted, and my constant thought that I always think to myself is, like I said in my book, and I'm just gonna get all choked up. Like I said in my book, is that, you know, if I do nothing else right on this godforsaken planet, I hope that I can be a good mom to her. I truly, truly just want to be a good mom. Sorry, I'm trying not to cry. Shit. It sucks that she's at a disadvantage, being my daughter. Because, yeah, my name is Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and I am a convicted schmurder. Yep. And I did the time. I did the crime, did the time, did my time on parole. Case is closed. I owe nobody else anything. I don't owe anybody a fucking thing. What I owe everything to is my daughter. So much of my pain, so much of my guilt, and I want to give her her best chance. But I need people to give me my best chance so I could give her her best chance. And so what I want going forward is people to leave me the fuck alone. I'm not gonna post on social media. I'm not gonna do any more interviews or TV shows. Y'all got what y'all want. You got what you want, so leave me alone. Y'all want Nick out of prison? Well, then go fight for it. But leave me alone. I've done my time. Like, it's not fair to hound someone that, yeah, sure, I should have lived a quiet life when I got out. You know what? You're damn right I should have. Absolutely should have. Anybody said you should have gone live yeah, absolutely I should have. And I didn't, and you know, that was my fuck up. Paying the consequences now, right? But I'm making that choice now for my family. It's better late than never. Everything I'm doing to give my daughter a good life, a normal life, a life that I didn't get to live. I didn't get to live a normal life. So I'm thinking, like, what could I do to, you know, step back and be more private, post less, and shit gets leaked, and, you know, that's not by my friends, but, you know, all these content creators end up finding something that I'm doing and then make content about it. It's not like I'm trying to stay relevant. I'm doing this live right now so I could explain everything to y'all, and hopefully y'all see me for once. I don't want to be a public figure, and I'm not required to advocate. It's not that I don't care about people in, you know, bad situations. I do. I care about people. But also, nobody appointed me the savior of the world. And I feel like that was put upon me when I got out. And I misspoke, saying I want to be an advocate. I want to help people, because it's like I have a good heart and I do want to help people, but I don't have the connections to help people. I don't know any representatives in the House of Law. I'm not friends with government officials. I can't make laws change, can't make laws happen. You know what I have? I have a voice. And I felt like I came out, I spoke, and I did what I could to try to be perfect for everyone. And so now I'm just done. And I'm enough for my family, I'm enough for Ken, and I'm enough for my daughter. That's what I'm enough for, and that's just fine for me. To anybody that feels like I help them in any way, because I do get messages like that where people are like, you know, you saved my life, you helped me so much, you inspire me. Thank you. I'm really happy if I helped you through any sort of hard time. But it hasn't been easy for me either. So I'm just gonna let you guys know that a big part of why I wanted to step away from social media, and I wanted to go on that 30-day detox, if you guys remember that 30-day detox that I had posted. Well, I had posted it, and then literally like an hour later I get a call. Hey, you still gonna post for the show, right? You're required to post. This is your job. You have to post in order to promote the show. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll post for the show. Gypsy Blanchard's a liar. She said she was going to go on a Yeah, that sucks. So, now I don't have anybody telling me when to post, how to post, where to post, or even post at all. So, that's why I just want to be done. I have my private Facebook. If you're a friend on my Facebook, consider yourself a trusted person in my inner circle, because I only add people that I absolutely 100% trust. I have this TikTok account right here, which will go back on deactivate after this live. I have my private TikTok, which I may deactivate that too. I may take the app completely off my phone and, say, fuck it. Fuck this app. I have my Blown Beauty Art Instagram, so I can post my art. And I do have a private Instagram that I don't really post much on. And that's it. So I deleted my X account, so I no longer have my X account. Nobody even uses X anymore anyway. I think Ken still does, but for now, that's it. Ken still has his Instagram, he has his private Facebook, and he has his TikTok. So those are the only accounts that are ours. All these other hundreds of fake accounts, and they'll post, and I'm starting to learn that. So ever since I started kind of stepping back from social media, now all these fake Gypsy accounts of people pretending to be me are gonna post stuff just so content creators have something to talk about, because they're not getting content from me. So now they're gonna make content so they can report on that and talk about that, which is so annoying. But it's gonna happen. So just know that now that I am saying everything that I will end in 4 minutes. Why? Okay. Now that I'm saying everything that I have to say, I feel like that's it. I'm doing good in my life, and I'm doing what I need for my mental health. But I will tell you guys that when I went to Austin with Ken and Aurora, this was 2 weeks after I got off parole and the whole billboard thing happened and everything. I hit bottom and I wanted to unalive myself. So Ken was I was in the bedroom and I was like, Ken, please, I just want it to end. I cannot take this anymore. I have taken everything from every angle, and it's just hit after hit after hit. And I'm at my knees, and people are kicking me down. And he's like, you know what? Tomorrow we're going to go to Austin. We're going to go visit my mom. We're going to get you away. We are going to go and have some time where you can get away from social media. You can just be happy. And so we did, and it was so refreshing to just say, you know what? Oh God, this is so nice not being on social media and not having to worry about people's opinions of me and all this kind of stuff. And that's when it started to click that privacy and a more quiet life is going to bring me inner peace and happiness within my own self and my own life. But I will say, yeah, I was at the point where I'm I want to unalive myself. Now, I don't feel that way anymore. I've had, a therapy. I've had therapy since then. I've had time. I have pulled myself out of that depression. I am stable. I'm good. I'm good. But this was an eye-opening experience that this app is not healthy for me. And so with that being said, thank y'all to everybody that has stood by me and heard me out and it still continues to fight for me and defend me. Bree, God, she's such a good friend. I love that woman, and I love my friends. They have been such good friends to me. But I need to take a step back. And if all these content creators won't leave me alone, then I'm going to remove myself from the equation. And I'm going to go be happy privately. So with that being said, thank you for watching my live. I'm doing good. We're doing really, really good over here. And the less I hear about all the nonsense, the better it is for my mental health. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. I hope you guys know that I love you guys. And I don't know when I'm gonna post again, if ever. I don't know if I'm ever gonna go live again. I don't know. But for now, this is what I need to do for me and for my family. Thank you. This is just where I'm at with it in my life. And so no, I'm not going to be doing interviews. No, I'm not. There's not another show. It's a new chapter in my life. And this is the chapter of me raising my daughter and living my happy ending. And unfortunately, y'all don't get to see it. But it's okay. Just know that I'm okay. And know that I'm happy. So, with that being said, such a cute teddy bear. With that being said, I'm going to end this live because I think I've rambled on so long. It's been one hell of a ride. Alright.